Hey, villains. This is Jade Sky, and you're listening to the Villains Podcast. If you're part of our Facebook group, Villains Parking, you can join the conversation there. And if you're not part of the group, you can go over and you can join Villains Parking on Facebook. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this podcast is. So, it starts with my family going on trips to theme parks, pretty normal family vacations any other family. We would go to theme parks. I have four kids, family of six. We would buy tickets, we'd go stay at the resorts. And eventually we found ourselves doing that quite frequently, like multiple times a month. So eventually we just decide, okay, every time we're buying these tickets, let's just buy the passes. Let's just do it. So we do. So we get the annual passes and we're making all of our Disney trips. And eventually, you know how that goes. We're like, okay, let's just, get the Disney house and we'll just live there. So that's what we did. And somehow I feel like my entire life has been consumed by these theme parks. Not in a bad way, just in a way I never expected. So when you get these passes to these parks, you start joining Facebook groups. Most people do, right? You want to learn all of the tips and tricks. You want to learn all of the things you can do with your pass. You want to know all of the insider information. And you just join these groups and you start talking to people. And before you know it, you're in, or at least I found myself in hundreds of groups. I don't even know how I got in all of them. I don't know if people added me to them and just I feel like sometimes if people see if you post too many pictures of a certain park, or in my case, all of the theme parks, then people are just like, okay, you like theme parks, let me just add you to this group. So eventually I just ended up in all these groups. And let me tell you, I never knew the other side of the theme parks. I only knew, like most people, I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast and you're not in the villains parking group and you're just what I'm going to call a normal person functioning in life, and yes, I'm sure you've gone on your vacations, but if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I felt the same way. I had no idea. It wasn't until I became part of the theme park community that I started to learn that, like any other community, there's some really questionable characters. And I'm not even gonna lie, I've had a lot of fun with this. If you know me, or if you don't, you're gonna get to know me. But if you know me, I have a great sense of humor and I can't help but just laugh at everything. And believe me, there are lots of things to laugh at in this community. So this is not going to be your typical podcast of this is the best way to go on a Disney vacation. No, this is going to be like, okay, when you get to that Disney vacation, you're going to look for these crazy people. And it's kind of like I'm gonna just give you a shout out, my friend Patrick, because Patrick said it's like the people of Walmart at Disney, and that's exactly the stories I'm going to tell you about. And I promise it's everything you're picturing right now, and probably a little bit better, a little bit crazier, and in some situations, a lot scammier. So, for some reason, these theme park communities, they draw all kinds of people, right? Of course, you've got the tourists, you've got the families, you've got the adults that are just living out their childhood. I think all that stuff is normal. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's what normal people do. But then you have these individuals, and it seems to be the people that always try to find a way to make money off of the theme parks. I feel like that's the common trend. They are trying to make money off of the theme parks in some other either underhanded way, or they're just trying to make money. Some of them are travel agents, and I don't mean every travel agent is out to get you, but the ones I'm going to tell you about certainly are. Um, then there are just different individuals that, whether they're selling, you know, bootleg merchandise, or they're doing all kinds of craziness, delivering, and I can't even say baking cakes and cookies because they were like repackaging things you would get at Costco or Walmart, and then selling them to people at these ridiculous markup prices at the resorts. I have all these stories of these people crashing out. Yes, that is the way the kids say it. I have teenagers, and so I'm going to use the crash out. But they're, just having these total mental breakdowns over their Disney or, it's Universal too, and SeaWorld. It's all of the parks. Those are the major ones. I mean, it happens at all of them. I live in the Orlando area, so I mostly see it in person here, but being in all those groups, I see it in the California with the same parks, they're regional. So you wouldn't believe me if I told you Disneyland has gangs. You're like, well, no kidding, Jade. They're in California. Of course they have, but no, I mean like in the parks, right? Like that's crazy. So they're not called gangs because you can't actually call them gangs. They call themselves social clubs. They are these groups of people that have matching jackets and they pin trade. I'm not going to get into it too much, but apparently they have their territory, and you better not be caught sitting at the wrong table without the right jacket on. So, if you get where I'm going with this, it's it's very interesting and it's very fun. And I have enjoyed following along, watching the crash outs, watching the train wrecks, getting to know the characters, giving them fun nicknames. I think that's been my favorites. There are a lot of fan favorites. There are so many of them that in the villains parking group that I mentioned earlier, we did a poll. I did a poll to see, you know, who was their favorite train wreck, and there were so many I forgot to add them. I just had to keep going back and adding more. So we've definitely had fun with it. And I feel like, this is the side of the theme parks that fit my personality. I'm not the typical Disney adult that just gets excited for the fireworks and the snacks. I like certain snacks, but I really enjoy watching the vloggers and the influencers walking around trying to get the perfect shot and the perfect video and pretending that everything is perfect so you buy their crap because that's funny to me. I enjoy that. So that is what we're going to bring you on this podcast. You're going to get to know some of our favorite characters. We're going to get to know their backstories. I will do a separate episode for each one because so many times we're talking about things and it's almost like we're speaking a foreign language. If you've ever gone into, especially the Disney groups, but all the theme parks do this, if you've ever gone into one of the groups and you're trying to read and it's like, all these acronyms and letters and codes, and it's like you need some kind of codex just to know what you're reading. Well, I feel like sometimes we can kind of do that, and I don't want to leave anyone out. These stories are very fun and they're fun to share, and I love sharing them. So I want everyone to know the story, and I want you to know what we're talking about. I don't want anyone to be left out. So I'll do a separate episode of each individual character for I don't really have a better way to describe them other than calling them characters. I've tried to think of a word for it, but I just can't. Um, they're not all total train wrecks. Some of them are fun. Some of them are more fun than others. But yeah, that's what we're going to do here on this podcast. And we are going to give you the other side of living on vacation. So, I always talk about living on vacation and it's happy and it's fun and it's bright and it's sunny and it's beaches and it's theme parks and it's wild animals and nature hikes. And that is my real life. But there is also this other world within a world that you never see. And I enjoy it. And it's so fun to me. So I'm going to share that with everyone because you have to laugh. And I make a lot of people angry. Um, you know, they don't like when you expose their scams. They don't like when you tell people how they're trying to trick them on the internet. They don't like, especially the influencers. Um, they really don't like when you tell people, hey, this person is buying followers. You know, not that many people actually like them. They call you all kinds. I'm sure if you're listening and you follow me on social media, I am sure you have seen the post and you've seen people go crazy in my comments. It seems like it comes out of nowhere, but believe me, this is where it comes from. So it comes from here. Most of I'm like a I'm like a psycho magnet, okay? Any any unhinged person on the internet, they just phew, they come right to me. And yes, I know you've seen a lot of it. I enjoy making fun of them. I really do. I Nothing makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside than making fun of people that deserve it. You know, yeah, like yes, I can be mean. I can say mean things, but I mean them because they deserve them. So anyway, I feel like the jokes are better when they're explained, and I like everyone to laugh along. So that is what we're doing. We are sharing the jokes and we are laughing together. And if you want to join the conversation and you want to see the daily content, because it is daily. There is no shortage of content. It is a daily basis. You can come over to Villains Parking. We have daily content. We also have enough content to have a hilarious podcast once a week. And we will be having everyone join us by video. So you can get to see that as well. But first, I just want to make sure everyone just understands what we're doing. And I want to have an episode for each character just to, like I say, just a tea party, just tell the story so that, there's no. I always feel bad because people are like, I'm just going to throw one out there. Who is Hatfish? What is a Hatfish? And I mean, if you're a normal person, you don't know what a Hatfish is. You shouldn't have to know what a Hatfish is, right? A Hatfish shouldn't even exist, okay? But a Hatfish does exist because the Hatfish is crazy and it's one of the characters. But when we're talking about Hatfish, new people are like, the heck is a Hatfish? And then I either have to tell them, click the hashtag, follow the link, go read, go search. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot of work, right? Like that's a lot of work to know what your friends are talking about. And we're all friends in here, and I want everyone to feel like they know what's going on. So I just thought it would be a lot more fun and easier to follow along if I could just say, hey, go listen to the episode of Hatfish, and you're going to know exactly what a hatfish is. And you'll probably wish you didn't by the end of it, but it's there. So that's what we're doing here. Um, our group was started for the purpose of having a place where everyone that thought they were just getting admission to the theme parks for fun family time and took a look around and said, what the actual F is going on? We have a place to joke about it and laugh about it. And we do. We all love the theme parks. We're all pass holders. We go to all of them. We don't have this stupid this one's better than that one. Of course, we have our favorites. I have my favorite resorts, I have my favorite parks, but that's not what we do. It's not, you have to go here, you have to do that. This is better. No, we are there to laugh at the people that deserve to be laughed at. We are not there to just, be jerks or make fun of people for no reason. We are there to make fun of the people that deserve to be made fun of, the people, especially the people that are out there trying to make a profit off of other people. You deserve all of the laughing that you get. and I'm happy to laugh at you, and I'm happy to explain to others why they should be laughing at you with me. So that is what we're doing, and I hope you have fun with us. If you're not already in Villains Barking, go join so you don't feel left out. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, just find the episode, listen to it, and I'm going to tell you the whole backstory. It's story time. We call it tea parties, spilling the tea. It's a party. So come over and join us. And if you have any questions or if there's anything else you want us to cover, you can always send us a message. Let me know. And I'll always keep you anonymous, keep everything confidential. And if you don't know this about me, I have my record keeping is immaculate. If it ever happened on the internet, I have screenshots of it. My inbox is insane. I'm not joking. I have it muted. If I didn't have my inboxes muted, I would never be able to function in life because anything that happens on the internet, I have it in my inbox. I used to be the one, taking screenshots and sharing screenshots, and I've built out this network to the point that anytime anything is posted, people are sending it to me. So I have screenshots of the whole internet. My kids joke, "What is your storage plan like?" And we're not going to talk about that because it's very expensive to store the internet on your personal cloud device. However, I say that because we have receipts. We have everything. So I like to verify things. I like to have things to back up what I say. If something is not verified, I'll let you know. Hey, this is what people are saying. This is a rumor. But chances are, if I'm telling you, it's because I've got the documentation to prove it. So that's why it's fun. And I hope you join us and I hope you have fun.